Okay, well, I have uploaded a video on Quintorius, and wouldn't you know it, a new combo deck for him has emerged. So I guess I should probably also showcase that on the channel here as well. The combo is going to be the same, but the way that I've built this is a little bit different than some other builds that you may have seen in the past. So with that, let's hop in and see what this Quintorius combo deck is doing. So obviously, Quintorius Cond, the Planeswalker from the new set, or the relatively new Ixalan set. For 5 mana, you have something that can discover for 4. And 4 is a pretty interesting number because in a lot of decks that you've seen, we have ways of recasting and comboing off of our list of 4-drops that we're playing in the deck. So you've seen things like Gyruda decks that are trying to use Spark Double, Surgical Metamorph, Clever Impersonator, those kind of things to copy creatures and copy Gyrudas so that you can infinitely mill yourself and your opponent. But what we can do with Quintorius is a very similar combo where we're just using Discover 4 to hit these as our only possible hits in the deck. So what's going to happen is you need to get Spark Double, Surgical, Clever, or Mythos targeting Quintorius, and then you get copies of him. You'll Legend roll them until you get a Spark Double, which means that you'll be able to get a non-legendary copy of Quintorius onto the battlefield, at which point all these other things can start copying the one non-legendary copy, and you'll just get Quintorius's that trigger off of the Discover cast from exile, and eventually just dome your opponent. This is a really nice combo because it really scales once you get going, so if your opponent is just on some really big life gain streak, you should still be able to win on top of that. Now, the problem with these kind of decks is when you're doing something that requires a 4 CMC lowest part of the curve, we need to figure out what we're doing on top of that. And since we're here in the Jeskai color slice, I found that we were able to take a look at 2 things. One, we can just play a lot of board wipes, which are just generally good. We're running 1 of Cleansing Novas, some Doom Scars, which allow us to do things with our early mana. We have a Dusk Dawn, which generally is just another Wrath of God. And then we have Elspeth Conquers Death to targeted removal and sometimes bring a Quintorius back from the graveyard. Now, the other thing that we're doing here is another thing that's trying to bring our curve down so that we can play things in the early game, and that is running a bunch of cycling cards. So we're running Lorien Revealed, which can turn into a card draw engine down the line if we really want it to. We have Yadara Wandering Monster. This is basically a cycler for 2 that can eventually become a threat in the late game if we draw enough of them, so Yadara is a pretty cool to include here. And then, of course, Shark Typhoon is both a cycler, a blocker, and a late game threat in all in one, which is great. So I'm pretty happy with the games that I've played with this deck so far, and I think it's a pretty solid one. We're basically just a plain old Jeskai build. We want to find our Quintorius as fast as possible, and then we just need to go off from there. Literally, the name of the game here when we're taking opening hands is to just try to find something that you could conceivably get to 4 mana with if you needed to cast a board wipe, and then from there, if we have a Quintorius, it's a keep. It's a pretty simple deck, pretty easy to play, and it's a fun combo to boot. Let's try to see if we can get it off here. Before we hop into the games, like the video if you liked it, comment if you want to help with the algorithm, and subscribe if you're new for videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'll see you in there. Okay, round 1. Let's see what we can do. Sans got a Quintorius, so I am pretty much incentivized to keep it. We have 3 of our copiers in hand, which may end up being useful in case our opponent plays something that is a good blocker, or trades 1-1 with itself. We have Lorien Revealed to find something. That is always nice. We'll go ahead and cycle that, finding a Rogrin Triumph, and then on our next turn we can cycle Yadara. Go ahead and Island Cycle now. We will find that Rogrin Triumph. We'll have all of our colors. We don't have anything that's more than 2 pips of any given color. And we should be good here. Opponents just on mono white. They'll gain some life, but we should be able to kill them. So if one of our next 2 draws is a land, we are ready to roll. Resplendent Marshal, sure. Let's cycle that Yadaro and see if we hit a land. He shuffles back into our library, and we do get a land, although it is a Rogrin Triumph. So if we find an untapped land here, we are good to go this turn. Oh, sorry, it's actually it's turn 5 that we're good to go. So yeah, it is what it is. So we can go ahead and put this one down. Now, if we had not been the starting player, we could have Surgical Metamorphed, but in this case, we'll just probably Foreteller Doomstar. They really only hit us for 4 here. We can conceivably take another hit, but we do draw that all-important land here. So let's go ahead and cast Quintorius here. You're going to discover 4 here, and it's off to the races. Clever Impersonator is going to copy our Quintorius as we drain our opponent for 2 here. We're going to choose the one that has an activation this turn and continue on until we hit Spark Double. Hopefully we will hit it sooner rather than later. Mythos of the Luna, target Quintorius. So we are draining here, and we are going to hope that we just get lucky enough to hit our Spark Doubles. We have 3 left in deck, so hopefully we'll get there sooner rather than later. Put us down to 20. We're going to need to get a bit more than this, and there is our Spark Double, so we get to go ahead and target Quintorius with this. The thing to note when comboing here is that it comes in with an extra counter, so once you discover and we're casting our next spell like this Mythos of Luna, we need to choose the one with 2. The one with 2 loyalty on it. And from here, it's looking like it should be just trivial. We're just going to continue to copy these fun cards here as we drain our opponent for 6 to 8 a turn. Discover 4, and we have lethal from there. Alright, well that was a pretty cut and dry combo. With our opponent not having any instant seed removal or counter spells, that one felt good to just throw right down on the battlefield. Let's hop into round 2 and see if we can do it again. Alright, round 2. So this is a little bit more of a difficult hand. We are able to kill big things with Dusk eventually, but that's not necessarily the most strong thing to do. We have access to double white through our double Lorien Revealeds, so this is not terrible. We're going to try keeping a hand without a Quintorius and see how that feels for us. We'll start with the basic island, which we can Lorien Revealed into our next land drop. And if worst comes worst, we do have Dusk on turn 4. I'm going to pick up Rogrin Triome here. Move to our turn here. That'll be our land for the turn, and then we hold up another Lorien Revealed. Opponent is on black and white, so they could have removal for Quintorius. We just gotta hope that that's not the case. I did the Ebon Legion, sure. We will take our Rogrin Triome. And if they start to grow this thing, then Dusk will hit it, which is cool. Of course, on turn 4, we can just start copying their knight with ours, which is going to be pretty strong for us. Unfortunately, we won't be able to pay for the activated ability, but it is what it is. Alright. And do I need to copy anything right now? I can... It would be great if my Mythos, or if my knight could be activated, so maybe I shock here, copying first the knight. So I'll have Clever Impersonator copy the knight, and then I can copy their Scoured Barons in order to activate my knight later and then trade efficiently with Death Touch. We'll see if they have removal for my knight. We are not blocking here. If they just spend their mana to activate this thing, that's fine. So now we can kill the board and drop in a tapped Hallowed Fountain. Right, Dusk kills their thing, and I mean, we can push damage, but we really don't need to. Our combo will kill. Dawn really has no usage for us. It's here to sit in the graveyard and be a decoy. It's Exquisite Blood, sure. I could just try to combo, or try to copy their combo, which is kind of funny. So what's going to happen here? The next thing that they're going to need to play is a Veto. And unless they can deal damage to me or gain life that turn, if I have Exquisite Blood on the battlefield and my Knight still, I should be able to begin the combo. I just have to make sure that I don't shock myself. So I think that I will Mythos now for Exquisite Blood. And let them know that if they try to do their thing, I am ready. No attacks. Let's see if they can give me a veto here. This will be a very interesting way to win the game, potentially. We also hope to just naturally draw our Quintorius here. It's double Exquisite Blood. We now have Doomscar, which could be foretold here. Most of my spells that can kill are not going to trigger Shark Typhoon in a convenient way for me. So I'm just going to foretell this Doomscar. And I think until I draw another copy spell, I'm not going to copy a black mana source. Okay, we say go. I don't think I attack. Now they could just burn me out here if they have enough life gain in hand. That is one thing to think about. Oh, it's actually the opposite. If they had veto, then I'd be worried about that, but they do not. We're going to cycle the Shark Typhoon for 2. Start to look through our deck a bit more. Make it 2/2, that feels nice. And we do have our thing that can trigger Exquisite Blood. I'll put this in tapped here, and we're going to start to use this 2/2 to gain a little bit of life. That's just going to stabilize us a little bit, that is. And I got to decide on Clever Impersonator for Scoured Barrens, Exquisite Blood, or wait for veto, and I think I'm just going to wait for the veto. Well, that's not the worst thing that could happen. Grim Tutor, this could be veto. If they're smart, they have something like Radiant Light or whatever to immediately gain life once they play veto. So we'll have to see what happens here. So Steam Vents, that can enter tapped. And do I have anything that I want to take from the graveyard to my hand? I can get another Clever Impersonator. So maybe I will start by doing this, and then, well, Dawn can't be cast now. So I can Mythos. There's just really no Mythos or copy targets, to be quite honest. I could take one of their black mana sources, but even that just doesn't seem great. I really just need to pass here and hope that we're not dead. A draw of Quintorius is great for us. So here's veto. Do we lose this turn? We do lose this turn because of the Sorin. That's tough. Well, it looks like they're going to get us here. We are going to be dead due to the veto loop with Exquisite Blood. Well, I guess while we let this hop onto the stack here, we'll go ahead and get ready for round 2. We basically had as much mana as we need, just did not draw our Quintorius, and, you know, that's a good example of what happens when you don't have your combo piece. In this deck, we are pretty brittle, so we do need to have that Quintorius or a way to get him back from the graveyard. But we need to at least see him at some point in the game, so that'll be something that I take into future mulligan decisions. So with that being said, we are looking just about dead here. I'll let this finish out, and I will see you in the round 3. Okay, round 3. Let's go. So again, we don't have our Quintorius. We have 3 out of the 5 lands. We are missing a red source, but for pretty much everything that doesn't involve casting him, that is just fine. We have, actually, so we do have access to red, if I think about it, with Lorien revealed, so The question is, how do I feel about a single Cleansing Nova, Spark Double, and Shark Typhoon being my cards in hand here? I think it's probably okay. We're bad against very aggressive starts, but that's okay. We'll reveal this Plains here, and then Lorien revealed. We could have just played the Plains, it is what it is, but they'll see that we have 3 colors shortly enough. Alright, and they just pass it back. We'll go ahead and cycle here for our Rogren Triome. There they are. If I can just click on them. Move to our turn. The question is, do I feel like cycling my Shark Typhoon now or later? I think I will wait till later because I'd also like to get the creature on that if possible. With the Meletus, so they are playing slow. This is going to be good. Cleansing Nova does appear to line up kind of decently here. Especially if they just don't plan to play anything. That could be good too. We have Shark Typhoon for 1 or Cycle Yadaro. Not sure what I want. Alright, we'll cycle Yadara in this situation. No creature that needs to be blocked super badly. We find our red source. We'll go tap Steam Vents, and we have for another, we have another Lorien revealed here. I'll get a second Triumph. Opponent gains some life, that won't matter in the end of things. Shieldred, sure. I should have cycled, well, this is searching, so I maybe should have cycled Shark Typhoon earlier. It's questionable. My turn. We'll draw, take some damage here. And now digging is not a great thing to do, but wrathing the board is. So I'll play this and just kill everything. I can also Spark Double a following Shieldred that will essentially negate both of our situations. Okay, there it is. I will end up drawing here. Oh, actually no, an Elspeth Conqueror's Death is just fine. I need to get a creature out of my graveyard though. So I'm going to be potentially a little sneaky here and just Spark Double copying Shieldred. So reading your cards also helps. Spark Double also just copies your thing, not anything. So we will be using this Elspeth Conqueror's Death after all. Good little reminder there on Spark Double's text, because, you know, I definitely forgot about that. Hopefully you won't in your games, though. I have failed so that you guys can succeed. Anyway, Shieldred's on the battlefield. They potentially have something other coming down. This is Shieldred One Ring combo, fine. So they might just start going in with the shield, with the One Ring, or they are going to hold up like a Bowmasters or something. Emergency Weld. So that's interesting. They go for backup Shieldred. Loki kind of smart. But if we can just rip a Quintorius here, it's over. Darn. So how does my mana line up? I'm 1 away from being able to Elspeth Conqueror's Death and cycle Rogren Triome. I can play a tapped Triumph since I'm already kind of low on life. And then I'll just have a big Shark next turn. They're going to get their Shieldred out, I guess. But I don't think I can really afford to take 4. So we're going to kill Shieldred. There comes backup Shieldred. We knew this was going to happen. And here comes the One Ring. So they're going to gain some life. Again, a Quintorius still does it for us. They go and put us to 9. We got about 1 draw step left, I think. Exactly 1 draw step here. It has to be this. So we might as well just Shark Typhoon here. Well, okay, we can Shark Typhoon and maybe get one more turn after this. So I think we have 2 draw steps. Not super... It's not that much better, but, you know, it is double the draws that I thought I had. It's taken a while to pass back to my turn. I don't know if they've looked away or something. They could also be looking for my deck list. I don't know if they'd really care to do it that much, but we're both not ranked very high. Okay, they do pass back here. We're probably not cycling the Shark Typhoon right away. We go to 7. We're going to need to Shark Typhoon in such a way that we can block the Shieldred. That will put us to 5, then to 4, and then we'll get our next turn's draw after seeing 2 cards. I may as well play Rogren Triumph because I don't get another draw with it. We're good on colors anyway. So as long as one of these is just a board wipe, we're fine. We'll pass here and cycle the biggest shark that we can. They go for the 1 ring, that makes sense. Gain a little bit of extra life, you got it. So basically instant speed removal blows me out here. We'll hope that they commit to the board with something that is non-lethal. And that'll just about do it. Let's see. It's an Ornithopter. We'll let that happen. Springleaf Drum. Now, I'm not sure that I expected to see these coming out of this deck. Did they just happen to draw into a Shieldred and 1 ring combo when they are first and foremost an Artifacts synergy? That's interesting. So Shark Typhoon can go in for 5. Well, let me wait till they attack, because in that case I can actually eat Shieldred. Maybe save myself a ping. So they go in, sure. Oh, they decide to not go in, interesting. So if that's the case, do I even draw here? I think I do. I think I do. So we will do this for 5. We're going to go to 5, then to 3. So it's going to be now or never. 2 draws to find what we need. Can we do it? Alright, and that's our Quintorius. I believe that means we have it. You know, barring any instant speed removal, even though, actually, if they do have instant speed removal and we hold priority 1 using Quintorius, we should have the win here regardless. Okay, so we draw. We go to 3. That's fine. Here comes this. We will copy our 5/5. We'll put a 1/1 counter on it. That's sick. And here's Quintorius. We'll make sure to hold full control here just in case. And Quintorius will begin to discover 4. We're going to start gaining some life here. Once we get a copied Quintorius, then I will stop holding full control. Just in case they think that they'll be able to put something on the stack. Alright, we will keep this one. Here's discover 4. I think I can probably just go out of full control here. Clever Impersonator. We are, again, looking for that Spark Double ASAP. I'm feeling pretty confident though. Boom, boom, discover 4. Let's hit that spark double. I'm feeling lucky. Metamorph. And at this point, this is just a little solitaire game here until we get lucky and hit the right card. Now we have 12 hits in here. That's 24 damage, so we could technically fizzle, I think. I think the 3 spark doubles would have to be the last 3 hits that we get. So as long as that doesn't happen, and even if it does happen, I think it'll be very close. I can't really do the mental math right now, but for all intents and purposes, I think we are fine. Let's see if that's true. It'll be funny if I end up having to bite my words. Okay, here's spark double. We are officially okay. Spark double and Quintorius. And here we go copying. And yeah, no. Once we hit our first spark double, it is super fine. Trigger, trigger. Make sure to copy the one with 2 loyalty. And we are chilling. Here it is. Impersonator, that'll hit the 2 loyalty ones. Boom, boom. That's 6 damage, then comes 8, then comes 10, and our opponent will be dead. Alright, and with the final one here, we're going to put our opponent to -9, or I guess -1 once the first copy of the trigger resolves. Alright, well, that was great. We put a bunch of Quintoriuses onto the stack on the last turn that we had available. Alright, well, a great story right there. That brings us to the end of round 3, and round 4 is coming up. Stick with me. Alright, we start round 4 here with 3 out of 5 lands and a Quintorius. I think this is an absolute keep. Shark Typhoon whenever we run out of lands to look for another, and yeah. Oh man, we even got the Yadara. That's great. Yadara will be our first cycler here, and we even drew one of our non-spark doubles. Alright, here comes this. I could have played the land, actually. Whoops. It's fine. We'll do it a turn late. Opponent on Glissa. This could be Infect. Let's go ahead and put a tap land in, use Yadaro. Set our stop at their end step. This is Necrogen Communion, so it is confirmed that this is Infect. We'll have to just get our lands in order here. We only need one more. We don't care about pretty much anything here. The remove counters is not good for our Quintorius, but we're never passing the turn once we cast him. Alright, let's cycle Yadaro here. I think it's pretty unlikely we're going to ever get to a game where we cycle Yadaro enough to actually get him onto the battlefield, but it'd be really cool. I hope that it could happen. And we actually draw pretty much one of the 2 lands that we needed, so basically in 2 turns we are solid. I can actually just copy Glissa and hold her up as a blocker, which is pretty sweet. I think that's worth it. You never know what the opponent might show at us. They're taking a while to pass back to me. Who knows if that's because of my stop or not. They're looking at my Rogren Triumph for some reason. Assassin's Trophy, maybe? We'd just pick up red if they decide to do that. Yeah, it looks like this has to be Assassin's Trophy. So if they don't cast it this turn, I'm a little wary of shocking and playing Clever Impersonator, copying Glissa. Really putting some thought into this one for whatever reason. Might need to edit this video, we'll see. We will copy. Let's copy that Glissa, and now we have our own blocker. Opponent is here after all, it looks like. Nitrogen Rock Priest, and looks like we should be able to combo here then. Happy to make this trade here. Don't want more Toxic. And what happens now? They fight, it deals damage, maybe. Hexproof Indestructible, you got it. Well, what is not indestructible is your life total, and that is going away this turn. Here's Quintorius, -4, or -3 to discover 4. Metamorph copying him. And here we go doing our thing. Surgical Metamorph. Copy. Keep the top one. Discover 4. That is our Spark Double, and that means it's GG. So we haven't lost our little random event here yet. Hopefully that is not going to happen in the final games here. Here's Clever Impersonator, double trigger, and we are going to go for the win. Another Spark Double. Hit 6, and then the next one is evil. So yeah, basically once we hit the first Spark Double, that's where we really start to go off. That's always kind of been the case with these decks. Spark Double is really what makes the world go round. And there's our final 8 damage to face. Alright, that is actually round 4. We got a final round coming up. Hopefully we do not, I'm going to have to knock on wood here. Hopefully we do not miss our combo once we get on it. But I think that this is pretty solid once it gets going. So let's hop in round 5, try to do it one more time. I will see you there. Alright, final round here, let's go. We actually have the Quintorius in hand, and that's really all I can ask for with this deck. I think I'll be happy just playing the Lorraine Revealed on 2. I think it's just worth it to get the tap lands out of the way early. Really doesn't matter that much. There's no 3-drops that I can draw, and there's just like a couple 2-drops really. That's more or less how the curve is working here, so I don't really need to worry about hitting too much of my curve early as long as I'm not facing down like lethal or anything. Team Benson tapped, hold Lorraine Revealed for another Triumph. And we are well on our way. All we gotta do is survive. Lorraine Revealed, get a Rogrin Triumph, and yeah, opponents on black-green, these are things that are good for us. Oh, Abzan actually, so they do play white. We'll put this out. We can actually Mythos pretty much anything once they get down to it. Cosmos Elixir, sure. We don't really care about that at all. Let's go ahead and Hollowed Fountain. Should I pay life for this? I might as well, because if I just Mythos or Cosmos Elixir, I'll gain some life. That's fine to keep on the top. I'd scry away a Spark Double, but other than that, we're chilling. Alright, see what they play. It'll have to be something to stop 2 Quintoriuses. And it is a Mirari's Wake. Well, unfortunately for them, even though I really like seeing this card, we are just going to win the game right now. Quintorius, let's do the thing. -3 to discover 4. And this is the first time we actually hit the Spark Double right off the rip. That's pretty sweet. So let's see how many iterations of this takes at the minimum. Well, we've cast 1 spell, so there was the initial Quintorius 1 copy spell cast. Here's the second copy spell resolving. The third copy spell has resolved. And basically, it looks like it's going to be on the cast of the 5th copy spell. The 4th copy spell brings them right down to 2, and yeah, it's going to be the 5th one that does it. Alright, well, couldn't really have asked for too much more with this deck. Kind of saw this brew floating around and thought that I definitely had to play it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I would definitely recommend giving it a try. It's fun. And definitely the types of matchups that I got here in Jeskai were surprisingly not blue-filled, so that was really good for me. I think it's the fact that I'm playing a lot of board wipes and a lot of cards that just aren't really found in your typical control deck. So we really didn't get matched into those mirrors, which, you know, is good if you just want to cast some Quintoriuses and win some games. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to support the channel, you can like the video or comment on it to help me with the algorithm, and subscribe if you're new for videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That's all for me. I will see you in the next one. Hope you enjoyed, and peace out.